What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and it is a lovely, phenomenal Tuesday. I will also say that. Do I got a little string on my shirt? I don't like that. I will also say that last night was absolutely awesome. Q did an awesome stream on the Anton Daniels channel. If you guys are not familiar with that, make sure that you check it out. It is available for replay right now. We have our people clipping up certain segments that I think that needs to be highlighted more than others. And life is absolutely awesome. So I have an incredible show lined up for you guys today. Thank you again for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. You guys are so awesome. Let me go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way. First and foremost, I'd love for you guys to hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Also, on top of that, if you would, please share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. And then last but not least, if you're not a part of the Patreon, I will be doing a Patreon exclusive tonight. So tonight, we will be doing a Patreon exclusive. And that exclusive or that webinar will entail me breaking down to you exactly what it was that I've been able to generate over a period of time, including last month, especially from social media. I'm going to break down how it is that I manage everything, how I do my bookkeeping. I'm going to show you my numbers. I'm going to log in live for you guys to be able to see it because I know that it's a lot of people that think a lot of different things and they don't really understand it, right? You can go on Social Blade and try to estimate and think what it is that you think, but it's not what you think it is because people truly don't understand how to manage and how to leverage everything and look at it from a business perspective. And so I want to show you. I want to show you what it is that I generate. I want to show you how it is that I move. You guys know that I am very transparent with my people. I show receipts. I show numbers because I don't want you to be misled by other people that just give you advice based off of YouTube talking points and not things that you can actually leverage in order to continue to be successful. So as a result, it is important that we have these transparent leaders and transparent information that I can provide for you that'll allow for you guys to continue to be successful. So that is tonight. I'm thinking that it's probably going to be somewhere around between 9 and 9:30. You will get an update probably within the next couple hours on Patreon, exactly what that link is and everything like that. And in addition to that, we are also doing a Patreon meetup this weekend in Dallas, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. So if you guys are not familiar or if you are not a part of the Patreon, yesterday was the best day of the month for you to be able to join a Patreon, the first day of the month. But guess what? I'm not going to leave you out. I'm not going to leave you in a bind, Nate. I see y'all. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly, and I'll be reading them throughout the show. The second day of the month is the second best day in order to join a Patreon. So if you are not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you are not a part of the Patreon, if you are looking to sponsor the channel, first and foremost, make sure that you join the Patreon. That link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Additionally, if you need to get in touch with me for any reason from a business perspective, you want to sponsor something, you got a product you need us to put out, we got merch coming, we got new sites launching, we have new deals on the table and everything like that we're negotiating with that you guys will see rolled out over the next month or so. Please feel free to tap in. I am going to guide you. I am going to give you the game. I'm going to make sure that you are all taken care of because we don't do anything unless it's adding value to everybody involved. All right. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to get started with the show. Shout out to Big M Dub is in the building. He says, I'm in the bind, Nate. Now, if you missed yesterday's show, yesterday's live stream, you definitely want to tap into the live stream yesterday because you'll know why everybody is saying that they in the bind, Nate. So shout out to Big M Dub. I appreciate you. Christian Bailey came through with the 10 ball with the super chat. Salute to Christian Bailey. Elliot Jackson is in the building and says, why is it that people can always say what they need to do, but they find it so difficult to find the discipline, motivation to complete the task because they don't have anything that's keeping them accountable for what it is that they're supposed to do. They don't have a calendar. They don't have anybody that's requiring them. They don't have anybody that's holding anything over their head to say, hey, if you don't do this and this is not what you're going to get, And that's why when people have the option to choose for themselves, they often at times choose wrong. Shout out to Elliot Jackson for the super chat, Fireball. I appreciate you. My dog Kojak is in the building, says, just renewed my Patreon pledge for another year. Now, you guys know that if you do it for the year, you get like 15, 20% off, right? So he says, and I challenge 7 others to join me. 8 is the number of completion. Shout out to Kojak, and shout out to all of my Detroit brethren and all of my bag chasers that's in the building. 888 is the super chat. I appreciate you. So let's get started with the show today. Let me give you a little bit of a preview of what it is that I have for you guys. All right. We're going to tackle the Steve Harvey situation. We're going to tackle Brittany Griner. Centennial G is in the building. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. We're going to tackle Brittany Griner and her perspective towards trans athletes competing in women's sports. Steve Harvey specifically speaking about, because I caught the Q show last night, but I didn't speak on the subject. I did pull up to the panel, so y'all might want to look at that. But I didn't give my insider information on, nor did I watch the part where Steve Harvey told Shannon Sharp that women don't need to bring anything to the table. I want to tackle that. The highlight of my show is I have lawyer Sue Ann Robinson pulling up on us. So Sue Ann Robinson is the family lawyer, or I'm sorry, Sue Ann is the family lawyer for Shanquella Robinson, and she is going to add value and give us some insight on what's going on with that. And then last but not least, if we have time, we're going to tackle a few other issues, including Bud Light sales tanking and them turning off their YouTube comments. We're going to go over savings, or how it is that you can make sure that you leverage what it is that you're making in order to beat rate of inflation. So we're going to get into a lot of different things. I got a full show lined up for you guys. Centennial G says, we ain't forgot about that high note. Carl Thomas is seeking how he wishes he never. How about I just bring Carl Thomas on the show for y'all and he can sing it, all right? I don't want y'all clipping me up. Shout out to Centennial G. Yeah, man, we're going to absolutely get into it. All right, so before we bring Sue Ann on the show, the family lawyer for Shanquella Robinson, and I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show, I want to kind of give you a baseline for how you need to be looking at relationships, business, content, social media, your network, corporate America. I want to give you a baseline for how you're supposed to be looking at everything that you're navigating life through, right? You're going to run into people every single day along your journey that is largely going to be the determining factor for whether or not you are successful. Okay? So let me give you a little bit of insight. Steve Harvey has been at the forefront of every conversation. And I was talking to somebody yesterday on a coaching call, and we were having a conversation because this person that I was coaching yesterday just so happened to be very, very, very visible in social media and circles and things like that. And they asked me a question, and they said, Anton, hypothetically speaking, if you were single today, and I know that you say that you would never get married again based off of the fact that you only do it one time, but let's assume for the sake of the conversation that you're not married or whatever it is, whether you ever got married, hypothetical. I said, okay, I'll play along. I don't really do hypotheticals, but for the sake of conversation, let's talk about it, right? And he said, if you were single today, as a 41-year-old man, successful, has some visibility, how do you view relationships? And I gave him the same answer that I give you guys on a regular basis, and I'll be reading super chat shortly. Shout out to Impact. I gave him the same answer that I give you guys today. My answer have not changed. I look at everything from a business perspective first. Now, a lot of people get that mixed up, and they say, well, what about love? Shouldn't you love the person? Shouldn't that be a determining factor? What about attraction? What about all of these other different factors, right? Just because you have a priority and you say that you look at everything from a business perspective first, does not mean that you absolve yourself from loving the person. I think that love is not a feeling, it's a sense of duty. The way that you show you love somebody is by meeting the obligations and the expectations that you set before them, and you fulfill your word. And then how you feel about them often at times comes along with it, right? A lot of people don't understand that even when it comes to marriage and relationships, it's largely predicated on the idea that we have to look at it from a business perspective first, even if you want to look at it biblically, right? The Bible is definitely, if not the most prevalent business book that I've ever seen, period, across the board. It has so many different business lessons that I've gleaned from in order to ensure that we continue to level up and get to that bag and become successful in everything that we do. Think about it, though. Think about it. Why would you ever associate yourself with somebody that does not align with you from a business perspective? If the most important person in your life is the person that is going to determine life and death if anything ever happens to you, if it is the person that ultimately is going to determine how it is that you're going to be successful, if the most important person is the person that you lay next to, you close your eyes next to that person every single day. If that is the determining factor, right, for whether or not you're going to be successful, you have to raise kids with this person. You make business decisions every single day as a result of it. If that is the determining factor, then why wouldn't you look at it from a business perspective first? Just curious. How do you not see everything from a business perspective first? Looking at somebody and say, I wonder if she would be a good mother, is a business decision. Let's go back to the question that the guy asked me. And he said, what would be the determining factor for whether or not you would date somebody? Well, in that position, if I'm just now aligning myself with somebody, right, then that means that I'd have to then make a decision of whether or not the person actually enhance what my brand is or they bring me down. Do you know that most Hollywood relationships are manufactured and it's not even real? Most Hollywood relationships are manufactured and it's not even real. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West getting together was a good business decision for everybody. Now, whether or not you start to simp out and you start to look at it a little bit differently and you start to feel a certain type of way because she finessed you at the end and she said, yo, I don't even want you. I want to go over here with Pete Davidson. If you get in your feelings and you start making decisions based off of how you see it, then that's a completely different conversation. But every single person that's in your life, they either have to add value or they're going to be on the other side and not adding value. That's why I asked y'all to make sure that y'all divest yourself against the people that's not adding value into your life on a regular basis. If you have a brother and he is your blood brother in your life, and he is taking away from you every time you're around him, he drains you, he puts you in compromising positions. If you get in the car and you have to worry about whether or not this person has a pistol under their seat or if the police is going to arrest them, or if you're seen with them, then they're going to ultimately diminish what it is that you have. If you can't take this person to go and visit your business colleagues, if you can't bring your wife over into a business retreat, if your kids are bad, if your wife go out without you and she making herself look bad out here in the streets, she's a reflection of you, then that is a bad business decision and you need to get your household in order. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people lean into the idea of sex first. I love them. You having a child out of wedlock is a bad business decision. We know by all metrics, we literally can go and research it, that women that have children out of wedlock are going to suffer more than anybody else in society. More importantly, we know that the child being raised in a single parent household has a much greater chance of being a liability in society than if they were raised in a two-parent household, married, with a strong family structure. So how can you then make the determination of whether or not a woman is going to have your child? Or more importantly, as a woman, how can you make the determination of a guy inserting you, even with the possibility of having a child with you, without considering all factors? I look at those type of women. Let me just be absolutely honest with you. I look at those type of women as some of the biggest liabilities in our society today. And I'm going to tell you why. I look at women that decide to have children out of wedlock and become a single baby mother as some of the dumbest people on the face of the earth, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, this is not to throw the baby mamas out with the bathwater, because it doesn't mean you can't come back from it. It doesn't mean that you can't make smart decisions. It doesn't mean that you can't do things that's in the right way. It doesn't mean that you can't even be forgiven or whatever it is, right? You find a simp, you go and marry him, he go and take care of your kids, similar to what it is that we see right here. You pivoted, you made smart decisions. We all fail. We all do things in our life. But let me tell you why I think that that is the dumbest thing, and they're making some of the dumbest decisions that I've ever seen in my entire life. Women are naturally hypergamous. Women are naturally hypergamous, meaning that if you are hypergamous, then you are looking for the best available option by default. That is something that is inherently programmed into you by God. So if you're going against your very nature to do something that's not even in your best interest, how can I sit there and say that you are a smart person, that you are a wise person, that you are somebody that I then should value in the same way that I look at everybody else? If you by nature look for the best available option, even without trying, it's within you, regardless of how it is that you raise. You want, by default, most women want a man for provision and protection first before anything else. Trey, I don't care about how you feel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what it is that we do over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, but one of my slogans is fuck your feelings. We just get straight to it. The problem with society today is that they don't get straight to it. They so busy trying to make you feel good instead of giving you the insight and information on how it is that you can level up and become the best version of yourself, that we become a PC culture, and that's why you're so far behind as a group. If a woman by nature is unable to tap into her femininity and the thing that she has as God-given, in order to make the best decision for herself and her children, in which she is ultimately going to nurture to become whatever it is that they are. And if she is unable to make a smart decision with regard to the person that she wants to have kids with, and she decides that she wants to have kids out of wedlock by multiple different people that don't even give a fuck about her, and then she's looking for somebody to save her at the finish line, at the end of that rainbow, then I have to say that that is a very unwise person, and they are making dumb decisions throughout their life. That ain't judging. That's just the reality of it. If you a fool, you a whole fool, not a half a fool. If you fat, you fat. If you skinny, you skinny. If you tall, you tall. If you short, you short. Why we want to sit here and not put a label on things all of a sudden because it make you feel bad? We have to make smart decisions every single day. And the only way that you're able to do that is by removing how you feel and making a business decision first. The person that you lay next to every single day will be one of the biggest business decisions that you make in your life. That ain't your job. It ain't your car. It ain't how it is that you feel, right? It ain't your investment portfolio. The person that you lay next to every day will be the determining factor for whether or not you are a king or whether or not you are a queen. Shout out to Brittany Griner. If the person that you lay next to every day can't tap into you when they say, hey, fam, I got a bad feeling about it. If they not praying for you every day, then you're making a bad decision. If they not bringing you peace because they understand that the best version of you absolutely affects them and it's the best version of them, then you're making a bad decision. If you can't travel and leave your house without worrying about what the heck is going on when you're not there, then you're making a bad decision. If they not the best person for you as far as the person that is going to raise your children, then you're making a bad decision. I would never, ever close my eyes next to or lay down with somebody that I do not absolutely trust with my life. And I don't understand how y'all do it on a regular basis. It is wild to me. It is absolutely wild to me. So when we have these conversations, not only about relationships, but the women that we lay next to, and then subsequently the men that you lay with, relationships aren't just relationships. Relationships are the biggest business decisions, which is one of the reasons why it's something that we have to attack on a regular basis on the Millionaire Morning Show. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do you know that people that are married successfully, because it's a difference between being married and being successfully married, people that are successfully married ultimately make way more money in the end? Did you know that? Did you know that that is a fact? Do you know that there's certain circles that you can't get into without being married and bringing your wife there because people don't feel comfortable around other people that are not married, especially when you in her higher up circles, right? Who you pick to be your wife or who it is that you surround yourself with is often at times one of the litmus tests to determine whether or not you're somebody that's good to do business with. If you can't control your own household, then often at times they make the determination that they don't want to be associated with you because you don't have anything to lose and you're not making smart decisions on a regular basis as to who it is that you're aligning yourself with. It's a business decision. It's money to be made here. It's bags to secure here. Listen, we bag chasers. I'm not telling you that you have to get married. I'm telling you that you have to be careful with who it is that you plant your seed in, who it is that you align yourself with. If I see a woman, let's come back to this conversation right here. If I see a woman, very early in my life, I had identified the type of women that I didn't want to be associated with, that I never wanted to have sex with, even when I was a child. If I see a woman that's going to align herself with dope dealers, you think that I would ever put myself in a position with a woman that wanted to align herself with dudes that was selling poison in their community and was putting their whole life on the line and possibly going to jail for the rest of their life? You think that I would ever align myself with a woman like that? You think that I would ever align myself with a woman that can't make a smart decision on who it is that she can lay her head next to? Y'all would just do it just based off of how she looked. Y'all rocking with her just based off of whether or not she gonna open her legs to you in the same night. You think I want to align myself sexually with a woman that any other man can have? If it's easy for you to get it and you a piece of trash, then why would I ever put my Johnson in it? That's a smart business decision for me. If I see everybody going left, I start to question what the heck is over there that's going left, and I probably need to avoid it because it's going to be a tragedy over there. I've always been smart enough to assess the situation from a distance to prevent myself from being financially in a bad situation long term. I knew I was never going to go in family court. I knew I was never going to have kids out of wedlock. I never worried about the possibility of ever putting my seed in a woman that didn't want to have. I never put myself in a position to where a woman would make the determination for whether or not she had kids after I got her pregnant. You know why? Because I wouldn't lay down with a woman that I wasn't truly rocking with. And even if I did, I would have strapped up, put the Jimmy extra tight, just like on Menace to Society. I'm different, bruh. I'm different, bro. I'm a whole nother dude. Let me tell you something. I'd rather be spending money on my glasses, my watches, my drip, my cars. I'd rather be flying first class than sitting here taking care of a kid that you won't even let me see at the end of the day. How? And then a lot of y'all want to make excuses and say stuff to me like, well, it's the woman's and it's this. Yes, we don't absolve women from being held accountable. But more importantly, I'm never going to put myself in a line of fire either. Of course we should hold women accountable for shooting you in the head. But why would you even give her the gun? Yeah, she should go to jail. Yeah, she should be held accountable. Of course we're not going to absolve her, especially in a time and space where women is advocating for equal. But I'm never going to put my head in a line of sight for a woman to shoot me in the first place. That's your job, not mine. That's your job, not mine. You ain't never got to worry about me looking like a whole fool. I make a mistake for something that I'm not aware of, mistakes on me. I do it twice, shame on me. Y'all just like to do it 3 and 4 times and all of that. That's wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to get it popping with the show. Impact with the fireball says, good morning, Anton. I love the channel. You inspired me to get back into this social media venture. And I don't want you, Impact, to ever walk away from going down this path because it's consistency and it's endurance the thing that's going to ensure that you're successful. Thank you for the fireball and holding me down. Shout out to Ray Sean, says, hey, Anton, as my tribe continues to grow, so does the number of emails I receive a day. Any advice on how to manage it? Do you have a template for sponsorship contracts? I don't roll with anybody just, dang, Ray Sean, you asking me Patreon level questions because I don't want to get this type of information. Don't ever roll with a sponsorship just because of the money, right? Always evaluate your sponsorships based off of whether or not it aligns with your brand and if you would use it, which means that you would feel comfortable enough giving it to the people that you rock with. So Ray Sean makes a lot of money. He's a part of the Patreon. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Looking forward to seeing you tonight, Ray Sean, when I live stream. So it's going to be absolutely awesome. Shout out to Philip Sadiq with the 10 ball. We love Philip Sadiq. Absolutely awesome. Let me check something real quick. Let me check something real quick. All right. So just got confirmation that Suan will be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, let me tap into the chat just to make sure that we all on the same pace. A lot of people are not familiar with Suan, but I want to give you guys a little bit of insight on who she is. Suan Robinson is a lawyer that is also the lawyer of the Shanquella Robinson family. I want you guys to be able to hear what it is that she has to say because, as promised, I've been following and continuing to stay afloat on what's going on with Shanquella Robinson and the family. And so I want to make sure that you guys are fully 100% aware of what's going on. Everybody has tight schedules, so I definitely want to make sure that I can get them on here. We go to great lengths in order to add value into you guys' lives. So let me tap into the chat, see what you guys are talking about, and then we're going to continue with the show. And thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Also, let me do a little bit more housekeeping before we get it popping. I did, Steve, and that is going to be a part of the show tomorrow. Steve Elmore, I did see that that's going to be a part of the show tomorrow. Let me tap into the chat and see what y'all talking about. What's up, Q? Q, you had an incredible show. An incredible show last night. I'm so happy to have you on my team. I'm so happy to have you on my team, Q. Let me see what Trendy Locks. Trendy Locks says, I have witnessed single mothers prosper over time, been through the mud, but came out on top. And that's fair. I don't think that anybody shouldn't have grace. Okay, so she said 10 minutes. All right, so I don't think that anybody shouldn't have grace. Let me pull up this Umar Johnson video. Hold on. Give me a second, because we got a couple minutes. We got a couple minutes to spare. Umar Johnson, Tasha K. Hold on 1 minute. Hey. Is this real? This can't be real. No way that this is real. Let me pull this up. I'm going to be breaking this down. Should I break this down today or should I wait till tomorrow? Let me show you what it is that I'm looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Is this the one that y'all talking about right here?
Why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down?
Hold on, let me see. No, that can't be real. No way. This is not right. This is not right. I'm not believing this. I'm not believing this right here. Y'all telling me that this is real? I'm not going for it. No way, no how. Not the good doctor. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I will break this down tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Listen. Is this what y'all want me to go into today? We got some other things that we need to tackle too, but is this what y'all want me to tackle today? You need a full 15 to 20-minute breakdown. We can make time for it this afternoon. I got time. Is this the one that y'all talking about? I don't believe this. I don't believe that this is real. Let me tell you why I don't believe that this is real. All right? Because I am gonna make time for this today. I'm gonna pivot. Shout out to Dynamite Dame. Y'all say Tasha K can't afford for it to be paid. I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe that this is real. Okay? The reason that I don't believe that this is real is because anybody can get up and say anything. Anybody can get up and say anything, right? So y'all can't just automatically listen. Nobody loves reacting to Dr. Umar Johnson more than I do. Nobody loves react, and I will. I'm going to break this down, but I'm going to be very, very, very objective in breaking it down. Nobody loves reacting to Dr. Umar Johnson more than I do. But I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's real. By default, and this is just me being a man, regardless of whether or not I care for somebody or whether I don't care for somebody, just looking at this lady right here, you're not going to sit here and convince me that Dr. Umar Johnson was trying to smell her. Nope. Because anybody can say anything about anything, right? And honestly, listen, again, I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong, and I'm going to break it down, but I'm going to be very, very objective. And I'm not just going to believe a woman just because they jumped on a platform and said anything. Anybody can say anything about anybody. And so unless you got some receipts, unless you got some proof, I'm not believing it. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to entertain it just because I think that I want to get to the mess. But I'm not going to believe it just because she said it. No way, no how. And again, I love holding people accountable, and I love rocking out and reacting to the things that Dr. Umar Johnson say. But I'm not going to throw the doctor under the bus because some raggedy chick jumped up on Tasha K and wanted to say some wild stuff. Because I wouldn't want that junk done to me. I would never say or do anything to anybody that I wouldn't want done to me. So I will add this into the list of things that I want to react to today. Let me go ahead and add that. But I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time that I'm not going to entertain the possibility of this chick telling the truth just because she said it. All right? Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I have a Patreon exclusive tonight. I'm trying to kill a little bit of time in order to get Sue Ann Robinson on the platform, given her because I'm interacting in the background. All right. I will be adding this to the things that I'm reacting to today. So, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe that Umar Johnson would risk it all for this chick. I don't. I don't believe that Umar Johnson will risk it for her. Nope. Not going for it. Not at all. Let me call and find out what's going on behind the scenes so I can get an update on what's going on with Shanquella Robinson. Give me a second, y'all. Let me eliminate this. I know it's muted, y'all. I know it's muted, y'all. I'm muting it for a reason because I don't want y'all to hear certain conversations. I'm trying to make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be because they have to go to court and everything like that. So give me 1 second. I'm working on it, y'all. Give me 1 second. We do this live. This is real life live. All right. So just hold on, y'all. All right. They should be on here shortly. Let me check into the chat and see what's happening. Wait a minute. The likes is down. How y'all expecting me to be able to have a conversation with y'all if the likes is down? I don't understand that. How are y'all expecting for me to have a real conversation with y'all and be adding this amount of value into y'all life if the likes is down? Hit a dislike, hit a like, hit whatever it is that you want to hit, but make sure that you hit it. What is going on with y'all? I come in here and I give y'all value every single day and I pour my heart out on this live stream and I figure out how I can continue to push you to be successful. And y'all sitting here playing with the like button. What the hell is going on? I don't even ask for nothing but a like. Old Country Boy says, bruh, the first three masterminds in the Patreon is mind blowing. A lot of people don't even realize that a lot of the value that's in the Patreon, I have like 70 videos inside of the Patreon, and none of them is available for the general public. None of them is filler. None of them is that nonsense. All of it is super crazy game. So make sure that y'all tap in, right? Let me get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. We do have a mastermind going on tonight. Or not a mastermind webinar is going on tonight. Make sure that you guys tap into that mastermind because it's going to be absolutely awesome. And I'm going to show y'all how to get to the bag. I need to go to the bank. That's what I need to do. See what y'all talking about in the chat. How we figure this junk out. All right. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the family lawyer for the family of Shanquella Robinson. Sue Ann will be joining us. Let me add her in real quickly. Look at you
Hey,
looking
good
all awesome and
morning.
pretty. How you doing? Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you.
You look awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So listen, I know that I have you for a limited amount of time, but I appreciate you being able to tap in on a platform. Just really quickly, can you give guys or everybody that's watching this a little bit of insight on who you are and the role that you're playing with the family of Shanquella Robinson?
Sure, no problem. I'm Sue Ann Robinson, no relation to the family, but obviously through the case and all the hard work and how closely we work together, we are a team, we are a family at this point. I represent the family of Shanquella Robinson. I've been working on the case since probably about end of January, February. I went on a fact finding mission to Mexico on behalf of the family. I returned from the trip with the investigatory documents and a firm representation from the Mexican authorities that they had already completed their investigation and submitted all the documentation for extradition to Interpol and the FBI. Subsequently, we had a press conference in Washington, D.C., basically demanding and advising the Biden administration directly of what the status of the case was, that the ball was in fact in the U.S. authorities' court, because prior to that, the family was getting ping-ponged by the US authorities saying, hey, this is Mexico's case, you got to go to Mexico, and Mexico saying, hey, this you need to go to the FBI because you're a US citizen, you need to go to them for information. So after the fact-finding mission, we were able to better piece together kind of a path to justice in this case and make the demand on the US authorities to get involved. That initial plea was successful in that we did have the White House, the US White House correspondent, Ms. Karine Joseph, address the case. She did express her condolences to the family. They did acknowledge receipt of our letter and acknowledge the case, which was a step and is a step in the right direction. About 2 weeks ago, the local North Carolina FBI branch called in the family to essentially tell them that they are going to decline filing charges in the case based on discrepancies between their local Mecklenburg County autopsy
Mm-hmm.
that was done a day before Shanquella's funeral and the Mexican authorities' autopsy that was done contemporaneously with her death. Um, Kind of glossing over the video,
Mm-hmm.
which of course gives the family more red flags than answers in the case, but it does not necessarily stop the train of justice in the case
Right.
because we still have to put pressure on US authorities for that high level of diplomatic intervention that we've been asking for from the beginning in order to extradite the suspect that the Mexican authorities had already named in their case. So even
Mm.
if the US authorities say, you know what, we know behind the scenes there's some sort of political issues and problems and delays in the case that have led to them now declining the charges.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican authorities still have the opportunity to bring this person to justice via extradition,
Right.
but the State Department has to approve that extradition, which
Mm.
requires heads of state, the highest level of diplomatic intervention you can get. The Biden administration
Yep.
has to talk to the head of state in Mexico in order for those synergies to occur, in order for that to be prioritized for the extradition proceedings to begin. So we still have to demand that. So I know a lot of people felt like, oh, well, the FBI declined charges. It's over. It's not over. We were disappointed, but we weren't deterred. So we're still pushing towards that,
Right.
which is why we're all standing behind the family on May 19th and going back to DC to
Okay.
say, listen,
You said
it's
May
fine that the,
19th
yes,
specifically? Okay.
May 19th specifically. Um, we will all gather in DC behind the family and rally to say, listen, justice has not been served. That's actually the 200th day since Shanquella's death, and it's actually Malcolm X's birthday. And we all
Mm.
know the famous quote that Malcolm X said about Black women being the most disrespected and most unprotected. So it's very of note that we're going to DC on this day to demand respect and protection of Shanquella Robinson's rights, even in her death.
That's a Friday, right?
Yes, it's a Friday.
I will be there.
Great. We
I will
really
clear
appreciate
my
that.
entire schedule in order to be there. I've been very adamant and on top of this thing and empowering my audience to make phone calls to their legislative branches and things like that. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Based off of what you know or what it is that you can communicate with us, is it multiple different suspects or is it just one suspect? Because I heard you say that the Mexican authorities had named a suspect, but based off of what we've been able to research, there were multiple
Mhm.
different people with her on that
Right.
specific trip. Is there multiple different suspects or is there one suspect?
Well, there are six travel mates that were in the villa at the time,
Mm-hmm.
six people that have been identified as present during the trip and during the process, during the final hours of life. In the video, there is one aggressor identified as the person harming her in the video that the Mexican authorities have used as the basis for their extradition packet. They
Mm.
have only named one person who has been identified as the aggressor in that video.
I'm not understanding why, whether it be the state, the FBI, or the Biden administration, because we get so much traction on so many things that, in my opinion, doesn't mean as much. It's not as relevant. It's not something that I believe that justice is warranted for, as far as all of the different things that people advocate for and that they use as talking points in order to get people to back the administration itself. I'm trying to understand, and I'm walking a fine line here, right? Because I understand the politics of it all. I understand that there's politics tied to every single decision, whether you look at it from a business perspective or whether you're looking at it from a justice perspective, right? And so I don't want to insult the people that were petitioning, or I don't want to throw under the bus or have any kind of negative comments towards the people that we feel have the power in order to even make this decision to extradite so that the Mexican authorities can prosecute, accordingly. But why do you think that this is not a priority? Is it because media doesn't continue to push it? Is it because people are not advocating as hard as they would other issues? In your personal and professional opinion, why don't you think that this is a meaningful thing for the administration to put on the table as far as ensuring that justice is served in this particular situation? And we've seen the video. It's not like a video doesn't exist.
Right. Right. And so I'll speak plainly. It's not a priority, and it ties into obviously questionable politics. And, it ties into what Malcolm X said. Black women are the most disrespected and unprotected. That was the same chant and rally cry we had to use in Breonna Taylor's case. And we know that that officer that was held accountable is currently now back working for another police force after
Mm,
he was involved in that. So it's not a priority because it's not a priority because it's not a priority. And that's why myself, Tamika Mallory, Benjamin Crump, Until Freedom, all these organizations are banding together behind this family to say, you know what? It's time for us to be able to stop saying that, for
mm,
us to use the people's movement, which came from social media, which came from YouTubers and bloggers using their platform to push forward this case in the first place, which is why I'm here. Because
right.
I recognize that it is the people's movement that brought the case to the forefront, that continues to push the case. And, we appreciate that momentum. But at the same time, recognizing and understanding that there's a gap, right, between the people and what the administration is doing on the case. Like, we're all saying this is a big deal for us. We don't want, as US citizens, to go on vacation with people, be harmed. And as long as the individuals make it back to the United States, they're not going to be held accountable. The people are standing here saying we do not want this to occur. And the administration is standing over here mute and silent on the issue. And so that's again why we're going on May 19th. It is about Shanquella. For me, it's about Shanquella. It's about a beautiful, brilliant woman who went to Mexico to celebrate her achievements and was returned to her family in a box. Absolutely, 100%. It is about her. It is about her family. But the bigger issue is the Biden administration saying you can go to Mexico,
Mm,
um, harm someone in this way, it be captured on video,
mm,
and then return to the United States and have no accountability for a crime that we've all seen. And the responsible parties are at large in the United States, which exposes anyone who interacts with them to possible danger.
right.
So why is that not a priority for the administration? I just don't know. It should be, and that's why we're working so hard, and that's why we're asking everyone to share accurate information, to share factual information,
Mm,
not to buy into conspiracy theories, not to spread false information, because that can be used to say, oh, this is why we're not prioritizing the case because it's some conspiracy theory on YouTube. It's not an actual case, which is why we work so hard in banding together with organizations and with YouTubers and social media, to say, no, this is an actual case. Here are the Mexican investigatory documents. This was a woman's life. It was
right.
taken,
Yep.
and it deserves to be protected and respected.
Have you, and this is one of the things that is important to me to ask, is
Mhm.
have you received the support of organizations that champion black causes, Black Lives Matters, the NAACP, even certain leaders that tend to be more visible when it comes to um, highlighting the issues within the black community. Have you received support from those organizations, whether it just be vocally, whether it be using their platform to spread the word, whether it be financially? What does that look like?
We have absolutely received some support. I think that, initially it was hard to kind of garner support, as I said, because there was a lot of suspicion around the case because of misinformation that was being spread about the case, whether people being well intentioned or not. I think currently the momentum is in the direction of us receiving more and more support. Our initial press conference was attended by the president of the NAACP in DC. We had a lot of support from national media. So we're just working to continue that momentum to say, listen, just because the FBI has declined charges, it doesn't mean that the train of justice is dead and over and left the station and there's nothing more to be done. There's more to be done. We still have a space to tell the US authorities, you got to prioritize this case, get out of the way, and let the Mexican authorities hold this person accountable for what occurred.
What does justice look like for the family? Right. And I know that I'm sure that they're just absolutely still in shambles. It's really still hard to deal with. And one of the worst things I would imagine for the family is to have to deal with the grieving that comes along with while, still trying to get justice for for Shanquella Robinson and things like that. What does justice look like? Is it just the prosecution? Is it seeing it through to where everybody that was involved is prosecuted? Is it
Mhm.
acknowledgement from the federal government that this was a problem, or what does justice look like for the family from your perspective?
It has absolutely been an emotional roller coaster from the very beginning, grieving your daughter, sister, child, and then at the same time having to do all of this, right? They
Yep.
have to attend press conferences, they have to retain counsel, they have to deal with comments and people creating conspiracy theories about their family, about what their day-to-day life looks like, about their daughter, etc. So it's just a lot for any one family to have to deal with without notice, right? Because they didn't know this was going to happen. I think justice for them looks like accountability for whoever was involved in her death. I think it's important to say, and I always say on any platform, these were not her friends, these were her travel mates. Please don't refer to
Mm,
them as her friends, because referring to them as her friends infers something about her judgment, gives
yeah.
people an opportunity to have a whole dialogue that is separate from the fact that we saw on video someone who was unresponsive, who was being beaten and attacked, a Black woman whose life was taken, and no one has been held accountable for those actions. That's the bottom line. And so it is very harmful just to the narrative and the truth to call the individuals that were in the villa her friends.
Yeah.
They weren't her friends, they were travel mates. But justice absolutely looks like the person's responsible being held accountable, not being able to just walk around as if Shanquella's life wasn't taken in such a heinous and brutal way.
Let me ask you two other questions. One is going to be really quickly, because I know that you have to get out of here really soon. Where can they find you and follow you? Because I know that you're keeping everybody up to date on everything that's going on with regard to Shanquella Robinson.
Right. You can go to our firm page. It's Frontline Law on Instagram. So I try to post in my stories and on the page the updates. We have it on our website at thefrontlinefirm.com, and then on my personal Instagram at Not Just a Lawyer,
And then the second question that I have is,
and
uh,
YouTube. I forgot about that.
yeah. The second question, and I'm gonna post everything in the description of the video, all the information for people to be able to follow you and stay afloat on what's going on. The second question that I have is, what's next for you? Right? Let's just say hypothetically everything gets prosecuted,
Mhm.
and there's a level of justice. Actually, let me revise it. My final question is this. Do you think that if this had happened on U.S. soil, right? If
Okay.
this had happened, same video, except for they were on this side of the border, that it would be a different outcome as far as our local authorities or the FBI or whomever it is? Do you think that it would have been a completely different outcome, or do you think that it's just based off of the idea that she was in a different country?
It's hard for me to answer that question when I work so hard with Miss Wanda on Ahmaud Arbery's case
Mm,
or just watching Sandra Bland's case. It's hard for me to answer those questions because these are well, with the exception of Sandra Bland's case, where the facts were captured on video, but we still had to rally and demand justice, right?
yep.
So it's hard for me to sit here and say, oh, well, of course, if it happened in the US and there was a video, it'd be open and shut case. It's very difficult for me to say that, knowing that we have cases and instances where the abuse and murder of Black people are captured on video, and we still are in the position where the families have to band together with the community to rally and demand justice. So it's hard for me to answer that question. I apologize if that sounds
No,
like a
no, no,
lawyer
no. That's
answer, but
great.
it's
That's
just
great.
true. It just is what it is,
I,
unfortunately.
I understand what you're saying. Well,
Yeah,
listen, I know that we have a hard stop. I really do appreciate you. Hopefully, I can get you back on
absolutely.
sooner rather than later. I do expect to personally be in DC myself. I'm gonna try to clear my calendar and make sure that that happens
Great.
on May 19th, and then I'm also going to put all the information for everybody to be able to follow you inside of the description, so they can stay afloat on everything that's occurring. Is there any other thing that you wanted to add into the conversation prior to us getting off the live stream?
Yeah, definitely. May 19th will be in DC. We will put on all the social media platforms what people can do, how they can support that movement on May 19th. We're working on that diligently to have all the information by Friday so people can make their travel arrangements and just make sure they're there to support the family, because it's so important for us to keep saying Shanquella's name, demanding that there's a high level of diplomatic intervention, because there's still steps left to do. There's still work to be done. So we don't want to, just stop supporting this family. There's still work left to be done in this case.
Thank you, Sue Ann
And I appreciate
Robinson.
you.
You are absolutely awesome, gorgeous, sweet spirit, and I'm very, very delighted that you are the person that is behind the family and supporting the family. And hopefully, we all can support the family by doing our part, and showing up and advocating for and standing behind what it is that the family really needs, which is justice, on behalf of Shanquella. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Protect Black women.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that was Sue Ann Robinson. Same last name as the family of Shanquella Robinson, but not specifically related. Related in that they are dedicated to the cause of seeking justice for Shanquella Robinson, but not blood related. So I want to thank Sue Ann Robinson for coming up on the show. And we will continue to have great guests on this show that bring insight and information into the things that we're passionate about. Let me read some of the super chats so I can make sure that you guys are acknowledged for your contributions to the platform. Levi says, shout out to that. It's not a priority is the reality of most situations. What's detrimental to my life may not be so for the next person. AD, why should this be a priority when so many others aren't? I can't tell people what the priority should and shouldn't be. The only thing that I can do is give you the information. I give my opinion. I don't think that anybody's life is important to anybody except for the people that they lay next to every day and the people that they support, right? I think that people are very, very selective in what's meaningful because they don't really truly want justice. I think that people want to feel good about what it is that they do, right? I don't believe that most people really care about justice for the things or that we should seek justice for. I think that people are looking to just get behind something that's popular to rally around so that they can feel good and they feel like they did their part in society. So that's my personal opinion. Thank you for the 20 ball. Shout out to QB says, advocate Sue from Ready to Love. Shout out to you. Let me see. Clester Johnson says, we all know who Natalie Holloway is. She was covered on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, BBC, BET, MTV. We don't get the same energy. Cliff Williams says, is the suspect the tranny? I don't know. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of things going on. So, again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. There is a lot of exclusive interviews in there. As you scroll down in the Patreon, you'll see previous mastermind sessions, webinars, information, so many different things. And then more importantly, after this live stream today, I am going to post a link to the live webinar that I am doing tonight that allows for you guys to be able to tune in and tap in and see what it is that I make, how it is that I leverage social media, and how you can ultimately become successful with social media also. Let me also give an acknowledgement to Speece the Beast. Says, shout out to you, big dog, for putting in the work. Keep it solid. Keep your foot on their necks. Always, Speece. Always. We own it. We on top of it. And if you guys are looking to join the Discord, the link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon, all right? So make sure y'all tap into the Discord to link up with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Also, we do have information about the Patreon meetup, and we might be making some modifications within 24 hours to the location based off of the weather. Okay, so shout out to y'all, and thank you for everybody that contributes to the platform. Let's continue with the show. I'm going to pivot. Ladies and gentlemen. And the reason that I'm going to pivot is, I want to play and go over the video of Steve Harvey having a conversation with Shannon Sharpe, and that he identified that women do not need to bring anything to the table. Okay, I did not get a chance to watch the video based off of what was communicated during Q's show last night, which was absolutely awesome. Make sure that y'all go back and watch that. And then in addition to that, I think that has to be some additional context. He had to add some context to this conversation in order for us to just take that and we just taking that at its face value and that's the end of the conversation. I don't believe so. So I'm going to go ahead and deep dive straight into the video. I'm not going to waste any time. Again, thank you to Sue Ann Robinson for jumping up on the panel and having a conversation with us and keeping us afloat on what's going on with Shanquella Robinson. I will stay on top of that for you guys and I will keep you informed. But without further ado, let's go ahead and deep dive into it. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show, so thank you guys for continuing to contribute to the platform. You guys are absolutely awesome. Let's get into the Steve Harvey conversation. Let me see. And thank you for sending me the timestamp so I can get right into the video. All right? Let's deep dive into it.
Wisely. And it was the best thing, because a woman like an elevator button, man, they can take you up or down. If you get the right one, you got something. Mm-hmm. You get the wrong one, but it's like a man to a woman. If you get the right man, you can go somewhere. Right. You get the wrong man, you off. Like I heard you say one time.
So I don't disagree with that. And just like in the very beginning of the video, with that part of the video, prior to, I guess, him saying whatever it is that he's saying, I don't disagree with the idea that the person that you lay next to, shout out to Mimi, said, I finally decided to join a Patreon. Really good content so far, Anton. Thank you, Mimi, and it's a lot more coming. I don't disagree with the idea that the person that you align yourself with, whether it's your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or whatever, or your brothers, sisters, mothers, friends, the people that you stand next to is often going to be a reflection of who you are. And so if you are very, very careful about who you keep in your inner circle, not the people that are fair weather friends, not just people that you associated with, not people that you go to work with or do business with, a woman or a man can very much impact and drag you down or help to elevate you about, what it is that you are, what it is that you are becoming, and how you can be successful or not. So I don't disagree with that part of the video. Let's continue.
Well, I was laughing so hard. You said you paid for a divorce.
Yeah.
I said, this dude right here was committed.
But see, I want people to say, she was getting a divorce already.
Hold on, Shannon. Hold on. Hey, first of all, Steve just threw Shannon under the bus. I did not know Shannon was out here paying for women to get divorced. Say it ain't so, Shannon. I know we always like to give Shannon props, and Shannon got on that drip. I like what he got on and what he rocking and so on and so forth. But hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some Shannon in it. You telling me that Shannon Sharp was over here talking to a woman that was still married and paying for her to get a divorce? Are we just going to skip over that part and we just going to go to Steve? Are we just going to skip over the fact that Shannon Sharp forwarded the funds necessary for this woman to continue to execute on her divorce? Come on, man. I've been out of the loop. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. I've been out of the loop. I did not know that. Anton be so focused. Man, I was at the cigar bar. I was watching James Harden execute on the Boston Celtics yesterday. I was not familiar with all it. I don't be familiar with what's going on. When I get off the internet, unless I'm preparing for a show or unless I'm watching a car video or something like that, I don't be knowing nothing about it. I be so out of the loops. And this is news to me, so I'm going to react to it like I just found out, like I just did. This is news to me. Shout out to Shannon Sharp for putting the money up.
I didn't break the home up.
I don't give a damn.
Because you know how people take it and run with it.
Yeah.
She was getting a divorce.
And he owed the money.
Right.
Oh, ain't no way you gonna sit here and help me. You know, she was already getting divorced. I was just giving her the money. No. I'm not going for it. You're not going to sit here and tell me that this is actually a good thing, that it's cool, that it makes sense. Oh, she was already getting a divorce. No, homie. I don't care what you talking about. That's not cool. That's not cool. But more importantly, what does this tell us, ladies and gentlemen? Before we continue this video, what does this tell us? This tells us that never, ever, ever trust a nigga that is in your circle thinking that he your homeboy, because dudes will do whatever it takes for the woman that they want to bust down at that particular time. I don't care if he married her. I don't care. This tells me that niggas is dirty. People are dirty. People are dirty. You not gonna tell me anything about it. Listen, we love Uncle Shannon, especially when he was standing up to Ja Morant's daddy and Dylan Brooks and all of that. But people are dirty. And he was a simp too, because she finessed him into giving her some money. I don't care if he had it. I don't care if he was rich. I don't care when y'all always say that it ain't tricking if you ain't got it. It ain't tricking if you got it. It is tricking. He tricked off on a chick and gave her. Man, y'all looking bad. When I tell y'all that these OGs led y'all down a path of symptom, that these OGs is not the OGs that y'all should be looking to for insight and information on how it is that y'all can get in relationships. I am standing 10 toes down on that. I said it before. I'm going to continue to advocate for it. These OGs is not the examples that y'all should be looking to for insight on how it is that y'all should be dealing with women. They said happy wife, happy life. They was simping. They was giving these hoes money that shouldn't have money. They was dealing with chicks that was still married and in relationships that had another dude's last name on them. Shannon, you're not going to get away with that, big dog. But let's continue. Apparently, this ain't even about Shannon, but we dealing with it as we see it.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Right.
It's a lot wrong with it, Steve. What's wrong with that? Everything is wrong with it. Everything is wrong with it.
Trying to invest in my future.
Right.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got.
If y'all keep following these dudes just because they famous and they got money and they great at comedy and they can hit somebody on a football field, if y'all keep following these guys and listening to this horrible advice, and I am a married man. I have been married for almost 19 years. I don't advocate for dudes to just get married or invest in their future by not allowing a chick to bring it to the table. I believe that everybody should be making a business decision. What do you mean you investing in your future? You're investing in your future? I believe that there's a difference between being married and being taken advantage of, being married and being successfully married. It's levels to this. And just because, oh my God, please, Lord Jesus, don't let any young man sit here and take this advice and think that this is the correct way in which you go about doing things. Let me rewind this a little bit.
Table. The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you.
Well, I'm like Jay-Z looking at Dame Dash. Okay, make another Hove then. Okay, well then make another Hove. Listen, if you can make another me, this honestly, y'all, money don't make you real. Money makes you more of what you already are. Money don't make you real. It makes you more of what you already are. If you can listen, then make another me. But you're not about to take advantage of me. If you can get it, then go ahead and do it. If you is so bad with your bad self, then go ahead and do it. If you can make a me, then make another me. This is nonsense. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. And this is why I don't listen to other people. I don't listen to what the sound bites are. I got to get the full context. So let me play another. Let me play it one more time.
What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
But what happened?
No. So this is the context, all right? It's not our job to take care of a woman and some children. Let me revise this for him. Let me fix this for Steve. It's not your job to take care of a woman and some children. It's your job to take care of your wife that have not been soiled, spoiled, and bussed down by a bunch of other people before she got to you. And I'm not speaking specifically about Steve because I would never talk about another man's wife, but I'm talking to men in general. It is your responsibility to take care of your woman and your children that came out of your loins, not some children and not a woman. We are not here to be punching bags. We are not here to be found at the finish line for a woman that wanted to go out and slut it out and do whatever it is that she wanted to do before she got to you. Okay, so why don't we just go all the way down the road and just go ahead? Why don't we marry porn stars? Why don't we go and marry OnlyFans models? Why don't we go and marry prostitutes? Why don't we go and find women that were streetwalkers and reform them and make them into our wives also? What's the limit? What's the end of the road? What's the line that we then cut off, that we don't cross, and then we say, okay, wait a minute. Just because she can have another kid, that don't mean that we necessarily value her in the same way. Okay. Let's remix it. Let's remix it. What is the point of us advocating for women, biblical principles, God? Because I know that Steve loves to quote the Bible. What is the point of us advocating for biblical principles, women preserving themselves from marriage, being good girls, raising our daughters in an admonition so that she would marry her father? What's the point of me being what it is that I am to her mother if I don't want her to then seek a man just like me? Why don't we just let our daughters run wild in the same way that we would let our sons run wild? Why don't we let our women go through the things that they went through? And why do we look at our daughters as precious jewels if they can then come back to the table and say, I ain't got nothing. I just want to get whatever it is that you got, and then I want half of it if you decide to leave me. Why are we sitting here having conversations about advocating for equal and equality and it's equality of outcome when it comes to what it is that you want, but it's not equality when it comes to what it takes in order to get there? Why are men still overwhelmingly the ones that's in prison? Why are men doing the most dangerous jobs and dying as a result of it? Why are men over in Ukraine getting their ass kicked and dying and starving and getting absolutely massacred on a mass level, but we sitting here advocating for equal outcome for women? Why are we having specific programs that say black girls code and we're trying to push them into something that they're inherently not even interested in because they're more nurturers than they are technical as far as how it is that they look at things and how it is that they go about doing the jobs that they do? We not sitting here listen, why aren't we updating the laws in family court? Why are we sitting here listening to women on a regular basis on YouTube talking about and putting dudes in their phone as food? Huh? Why are we sitting here saying believe all women without evidence, and then we seeing guys get out of jail on a regular basis that wasn't even doing nothing or was falsely accused or was pointed out for? Or why are we having conversations about people like the Duke lacrosse team that got finessed by a chick? And then that same woman, because she can make another you, is supposed to be valued in the same way as the woman that held herself together and did the right thing. Why are we sitting here trying to advocate for guys to not let baby mamas give advice on how it is that you're supposed to date and have conversations with women, and we advocate for women like Savannah James? Why is it that we sit here listening to Cardi B on a regular basis talk about and advocate for and celebrated the idea, right? The very idea that a man had been set up in her presence, or she was setting guys up in order to get finessed so that she can continue to feed herself and come up. How come women is not held to the same standards by default that men are, but we advocating for equal? But we sitting here talking about a woman don't have to bring nothing to the table? We're sitting here having a conversation. You don't have to bring peace. You don't have to bring love. You don't have to bring joy. You don't have to bring the ability to be responsible by showing that you were able to pay your own bills before I got there. Right? A level of responsibility. You being able to pay for yourself in order to be able to breathe or have a place to stay is a basic human responsibility. You don't have to have basic human responsibilities. All you got to do is come in, lay on your back, bend over, arch, take the whole load, and that's the end of the conversation. You don't have to be a great mother. You don't have to be a responsible party and how it is that you raise your children. You don't have to show that you were responsible before you got to me. You don't have to be a good steward of your money. You can be a banshee and a hyena, and that you can do whatever it is that you want to do before you got to me. And then guys get finessed every single day as a result of aligning with women that don't bring anything to the table. She ain't got to be smart. She ain't got to be peaceable. She ain't got to be focused. She ain't got to be God-fearing. Y'all could just be completely unequally yoked, and she don't have to bring nothing to the table whatsoever. And the only thing that she has to do is look pretty or be beautiful or go over there and get a BBL, and that's the end of the conversation. This is wild. This is absolutely, positively, egregiously wild. Wild. And y'all have gotten me on my soapbox, going back and forth. I cannot believe that we are sitting here taking advice from these OGs that is willing to pay for a woman to get divorced, or a dude that is saying that a woman don't have to bring nothing to the table. That's incredible. That's incredible. You can go out and have and rock out with whoever it is that you want to rock out with, and that's just, maybe it's some additional context that I'm missing.
A woman and some children to have a family, that's our damn job.
But what happens to when the woman tell you, I don't need a man, Steve?
Well, they need to, what? Okay, if you don't, how that's working? You know, how that's working? Who don't need no man?
I'm independent. I can do for myself.
Yeah, but why do you want to? Yeah, okay, you can drop a transmission. You can sandblast your house. But hell, do you want to?
No.
Y'all got to stop trying to say these chicks, bro. Y'all got to stop trying to say these women, bro. It is not, gentlemen, let me talk to y'all for a minute. It is not your responsibility to convince a woman that you should be simping for her. It is not your responsibility to convince a woman that you should be simping for her. It is not your responsibility. When I talk to guys on coaching calls, I'm going to be absolutely honest and transparent. And I say, what do you want? Right? What do you want with regard to the cars you want to drive and places you want to travel and the things you want to solve for and, you know, how high you want to go in your business or corporate America and all of this other type of stuff. And one of the things that guys on a regular basis, and this is a epidemic. I'm being absolutely honest with y'all. This is an epidemic. One of the things that guys say on a regular basis is that I don't want my woman to work. And that is the biggest red flag. I know that women hate me. It'd probably be women that be in the background listening to our coaching call, and women be hating Anton when I tell they man that you are a whole fool, not a half a fool, for saying to me that you don't want your woman to work. A whole fool. Women traditionally have always worked. The capacity by which they work is different. But if you telling me that this woman don't even have kids that are before you even get into right full-time schooling, that means she don't have infants, she don't have a little bit of babies, right? Some of these dudes chicks don't even have kids, and you telling me you just want to sit there and take care of her and she don't have to do nothing. She ain't got to do nothing at all. Nothing. The only thing she got to do is wake up and go to bed and then have sex occasionally. And that's the end of the conversation. That is a problem. She should be working for you. She should be trying to figure out her purpose. She should be adding value into society. She should be a great representation of you. It's not about putting a woman in a position where they don't have to work. It's putting a woman in a position where they don't have to work a regular job in order for you to be able to pay your bills and then thrive as an individual. It's not even realistic for most of y'all. Because contrary to popular belief, based off of what it takes in order to survive in society today, it's going to take for most of y'all to find a partner and not necessarily a wife. It take two incomes for most of y'all to be able to survive in society today. Don't sit here and tell me that I want to make enough money to where she ain't got to ever work. Fuck her. If you find a woman that sit here and say, I want to be taken care of, or I'm looking to find a man so I don't have to work, fuck her. Leave her for the streets, bro. She cannot add any value into your life. She will not do anything for you. She will be a drain on you, and she will ride that horsey all the way until your back is broken and you don't have any discs in your back that's working. You got a bunch of herniated discs, and then she gonna leave you because she gonna say that I can't be with a man that I can't go out and enjoy my life with. So you worked your whole life. You killed yourself. She don't have no dedication to you. And now she going to go over into the next horsey, Steve Harvey. She going to go over to the next horsey in order to make sure that she can meet her lifestyle. That's called business. She's a business person. She's a business person. She didn't help you build. She wasn't shooting in the gym with you. She ain't even a good mother. She asking you, can you take the kids so she can go and do a girls' date? Fuck. Let me see if it's something else for me to mind through this. I've seen it.
If somebody could get out there and drop this transmission for you and sandblast your house, why don't you go get your nails done? I'm not trying to reduce a woman to nothing else. Be all you can be. But damn, who don't need a man? That's a lie. What man don't need a woman?
It's a nice to have. It's a nice to have. It's a nice to have. But it is not a requirement. It is a nice to have, but it is not a requirement. Shannon Sharp apparently don't even need a woman. He ain't never been married. It's a nice to have, but it is not a requirement. I love my woman. I think that she adds a ton of value into my life. She's absolutely awesome. But let me tell you something. I was going to be awesome. I was going to be successful. I was going to be great. I was going to be phenomenal, whether she was here or not. Now, her being here and playing her role in position makes us more powerful as individuals, but I don't need anything except for my own hands, feet, a sound mind, and the ability to be able to go out there and get it on my own. And yes, you do need to bring a lot to the table. You need to bring a lot to the table. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace. This is crazy. Let me get into some of these super chats because I gotta see what the people talking about. Ronnie Robinson says, "Good morning, Mr. Anton. Hope it all is well. Bum Biden doesn't see Shanquella Robinson as an issue that will help him back into the White House. I believe that. I absolutely believe that." Shout out to Glicky. Says, "Hi, Anton. Just got a good job and want to start investing. I'm 20 and want long-term returns. What would be a smart thing to do with my money? Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and then we can have an individual conversation." Let me give you a couple little tips. The first thing that I want you to do is not to increase your lifestyle based off of how much money that you're making now. The worst decision that you can possibly make is to then increase your lifestyle based off of how much money you make. That is the number one thing that people do wrong, is that they start having lifestyle creep. Whatever it is that you are in now, look to reduce the amount of money that it takes in order for you to be successful. What does that mean? Lower your standard of living, lower your costs. If you are 20 now, if you really, really stay dedicated and focused, by the time that you get 30, you will be rich for the rest of your life. And then at that point, it's just running that check up. It's putting points on the board. It's trying to figure out what you want your lifestyle to be from there on out. If you are 20 and you just got a good job, lower your lifestyle, reduce your debt, don't take on anything, and then make sure every single thing that you do is invested in assets. As a matter of fact, I would even be looking to move back in with my parents. If you're 20 years old and you just got a good job, look to move back in with your parents and stack up everything that you can. Invest in real estate. Look at the video inside of the Patreon of the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to invest in stocks. It's a lot of different things that you can do. Max out your 401k every single year, the whole 9 yards, but do not embrace lifestyle creep. That's the main thing. Ian says, Shannon said that he paid for a divorce on an episode of Undisputed because he wanted her. I don't want no woman that bad. Wyatt says, bro, I'm upset with you. Half the people I've unfollowed in 1 month and half is about to be my girl. Just because they don't F with you. F them, Wyatt. Listen, we lead them hoes and straggle bags by the wayside. We don't rock with them. Cliff says, I built the table, Mr. Harvey. What is you talking about? Facts. Ross says, Steve out here giving the classically bad Steve Harvey advice. He is constantly pandering to women and confusing young men. I can't believe people still follow him for relationship advice. I follow him because I think that he got a work ethic that's out of this world and his ability to be able to get to that bag. I do not follow Steve Harvey personally for relationship advice. I'm able to separate the two. Levi says, I'm celibate and eating good over here. She have to be more than just an orifice or an okay cook. You got to be everything. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to continue into the show. Let's get into this really quickly. Brittany Griner says, let me move this over. Brittany Griner was asked a question at a recent press conference in which she basically was giving her opinion based off of a question that was asked about transgender participating in sports. All right. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Shout out to Firma D-Ace. I appreciate you for the Super Chat and everybody that continues to hold me down. I had some timestamps for this. I don't know where I put them. Let me see if I can scrub through the video to try to find out where she said that.
Ooh, a little different.
Hold on. First and foremost, why is the voice so deep? Why is Brittany Griner's voice so deep? Before I even scrub through this, why is Brittany Griner's voice so deep? Hold on.
And basketball press conference. A lot of media in here today. I guess I'm gonna start with y'all today, right now.
What the fuck is going on? I don't know. I'm going to ask an objective question. I don't know. I'm going to ask an objective question. I do not follow the WNBA. I do not care about the WNBA. I've never been intrigued enough to actually watch or hear Brittany Griner speak. My question is this. Has Brittany Griner always... I see y'all with the super chats. I'm going to read them shortly. Has Brittany Griner always had a voice this deep? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Has Brittany Griner always had a voice this deep? Asking for a friend. Let me see something.
First off, I just thank y'all for covering me. And
I'm feeling some type of way because I almost feel like I need to be talking more like this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to start talking like DMX out here. Brittany Griner's voice is deeper than mine's. I feel like I need to whisper because I can't get as deep as Brittany Griner. I can't get as deep as Brittany Griner. I can't get as deep as... What the fuck is going on? Listen. Listen to this, y'all.
All the exposure that you gave me, my family.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Why is her voice that deep? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I should be talking the way that I'm talking right now unless I'm talking like DMX. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Oh, I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Just give me a second. Give me, Jesus, be a fence. Help me to get through this, Lord, objectively. Help me to get through this, Lord. Razik talking about Anton, I'm late. How am I late? Like I've been sitting here watching the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the point where they was asking Brittany Griner a question about Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm and tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I need to get to the question, y'all. We getting distracted. We still got to cover Umar Johnson for the sake of God.
So these are things that we're gonna do throughout this season.
Shout out to Brittany Griner.
Good morning, Brittany. I'm Bill Roden from ESPN Landscape, and it's really great to see you. It's good to know the prayers have been answered.
Listen to Bill Roden. I don't even know who the Bill Roden is. Bill Roden got to talk like this all of a sudden because Brittany Griner is talking like that.
The question, you've always represented so much throughout your entire career about access and, being able to do stuff. And I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but
how come somebody can't ask Brittany Griner whether or not they taking shots, hormone shots or anything like that? How come nobody? I just want somebody to ask the uncomfortable conversation because they ask other boxers and stuff if they taking drugs or performance enhancing drugs. They was on Lance Armstrong and Phelps and all of them.
There are a number of states who are aggressively moving to prevent transgender athletes playing. And I was wondering, again, I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but in terms of on your radar, where is that? You're going to have a tremendous platform.
I'm reading super chat shortly. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the platform. I appreciate y'all.
But where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for, athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes, to be able to play?
Hey, spit the god dog question out.
Oh, I mean that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe and not.
All right. Words mean things. All right. Now that we done got past the voice, words mean things. And what do I mean by saying that words mean things? Brittany Griner specifically. Let me play it for you again.
Deserve the right to. That ranks high.
Athletes. All
I'm gonna play it for y'all again.
Have to be able to play.
Oh, I mean that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know,
On things that Brittany Griner will be fighting for. Will be fighting for and speaking up against. Listen, y'all. Listen. Let me break it down for you. The most LGBT alphabet community forward president that we've ever had in our history was the Obama administration. Joe Biden is the residue from the Obama administration. The Obama administration, as it was communicated to me by different people that had significant platforms, the agenda, according to them, was not a black agenda. It was not just to save or get Obamacare through. That was his landmark thing that he will largely, hopefully, in his mind, would be remembered for. What they did was they tethered and tied the alphabet community to their voter base in order to ensure and do the same thing that they did to the black community, and that ensured having a seat at the table in a position of power long term. Okay? Having a seat at the table and a position of power long term. Now, you have to ask yourself this question, because we just had lawyer Sue Ann Robinson on the platform in the morning, right? Sue Ann Robinson is the family lawyer representing and on behalf of Shanquella Robinson. For those of you that have lived under a rock, Shanquella Robinson is the woman that was brutally murdered in Mexico. And one of the things that Sue Ann Robinson said was, it is hard, and one of the people that can push through and see to it that Mexico can prosecute one or more persons that is responsible allegedly for Shanquella Robinson's death. It is the Biden administration that can give the go-ahead and write off and hit the check mark, hit the button, and have these people deported over to Mexico in order to get prosecuted, right? Now, think about this for a minute. If that be possible, if this is a thing, and all they got to do is hit the button, and we got to go over there and freaking protest on May 19th over in D.C. in order to get the Biden administration to recognize us. And the Biden administration traded, remember this, we're not going to forget it. The Biden administration traded a person that they made a movie about with Nicolas Cage called The Lord of War, and he traded basically the guy that is one of the biggest gun runners identified in our history, so much so that they were holding this guy in what they would call Little Guantanamo outside of Illinois. They traded the Lord of War over back to Russia for Brittany Griner, and they still haven't gotten the prisoner of war over there back home. And of the highest priority, based off of what Brittany Griner literally just said to us, is that the goal is to advocate for people that were not biologically born a man or a woman to compete in women's sports. Is absolutely wild to me. Now, give me a little bit of rope. I had to talk slow so that I broke it all the way down and help you to understand why it is that I'm looking at this like it is. We traded the Lord of War, the Merchant of Death, for Brittany Griner, and Brittany Griner has come over to the United States of America and said it is of the highest priority, championing the cause of making sure that you and your daughter, my daughter practices Taekwondo. My daughter is a beast, just got gold over there in the Dominican Republic just over last week. If my daughter was facing a man in Taekwondo, I would not let her compete. There's no way in the world, if you've ever seen the difference between a man and a woman kick in Taekwondo, there's no way in the world that you would ever allow for a man to kick the fuck out of your daughter. Can you imagine LeBron James absolutely destroying everything inside of the WNBA? Could you imagine a dude that couldn't compete and then he just goes over and he says, okay, well, skip it then. I'm a woman right now. Guess what? I feel like being a white man too. How about that? How about that? I also feel like that I'm a baby right now. So I shouldn't be required to go to work, right? Right? Now we're getting to the point to where I don't want to hear y'all say, don't put your hands on a woman because all is fair in love and war, right? Let's continue.
You know, everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are, or like it's just all eyes on them. So I think it's a crime, honestly, to.
It's a crime. Remember, words mean things. Words mean things. The word that is being used is, I think that it is a crime. It is a crime. Let's continue.
To separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
How long are y'all going to continue to let the people that advocate for us and speak on behalf of what you and your daughter is supposed to be subjected to as you raise your kids? How long are you going to let this culture be championed by and celebrated by the people that are the worst for us? Just curious. Just curious. How long? Because I already warned y'all and I told y'all that this was coming. I told y'all that this is happening. I told y'all that there was an assault on what normal looks like. And I'm wondering, how long are you going to let the people that have the most to say, and y'all champion for this? Listen, I had Lamar Odom just right on the other side of this divider right here. And we sat there and we had a conversation. And Lamar Odom told me out of his own mouth that we should trade for Brittany Griner, the Merchant of Death, because she was Sister Brittany, Queen Brittany. He told me out of his own mouth. He said, Anton, I support my sister Brittany, and we should trade the Merchant of Death for him. And I said, no way, no how. A lot of y'all say that I just let people talk, and that's what I like to do. I like to let people get their full thoughts out when I'm interviewing them. But this man told me that we needed to trade Sister Brittany, and that's where I drew the line in the sand, and I said, no way. There's no way. I told him, and I emphasized it. I said, listen, if it was my own mother over there, we don't trade the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner at all. And this is what you get. This is what you get. We don't have to hear from Paul Whelan anymore. Y'all thought I forgot his name. We don't have to. Everybody forgot about Paul Whelan. Who is Paul Whelan? Paul Whelan is the person that we skipped over in order to get Brittany Griner here, and we traded the Merchant of Death in order to do so. Bro, if you've ever seen one of them MMA fights that's on YouTube where the dude said that they was a woman and beat the fuck out of them, then you need to go and watch that, and you need to see it. You need to see it. You need to see it. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. So I'm not going for it. I do not support it. I am not advocating for it. And I absolutely think that this is a travesty that we even still having this conversation, and that we seriously are debating in society the possibility of a person that is not biologically born a man participating in women's sports because that's how they feel. All you got to do is say, I feel like a woman, and somebody can walk in a woman's bathroom, pull their pants down like a kindergartner down to their ankles, and use the bathroom regardless of what their genitalia is, what it was that they were biologically born, anything. Are we sitting here really having this conversation and debating this? Are y'all sitting here letting the administration that y'all voted in push forth these agendas? And that's the end of the conversation. This is why, honestly, this is genuinely why I honestly, I anticipated the possibility of not having kids. I anticipated the possibility of not having kids. Me and my wife largely considered not bringing a kid into this world. And it wasn't because we didn't necessarily need a kid. It was because we just thought that the world was just going in the wrong direction. And it's a hell in a handbasket. It's hell in a handbasket. So I'm going to pivot because I had another story that I wanted to tackle. But I want to get into this whole Umar Johnson conversation. But before I do so, let me read the super chats. Farmer DA says, good advice is to stay home and stack up after graduation or marry into money and build early, young man. Farmer DA, we 100% agree on that. I know sometimes we disagree on a lot of different things, but we certainly agree on that. Best advice is to stay home, stack your bread, get your money, and stay on top of things. Shout out to Farmer DA. Sadonis 1909 says, hey, Anton, have you heard of the rise in throat cancer in ladies in the last 2 decades? I have heard that it's some theory that fellatio is, listen, let me tell you something, Adonis. If that be true, we just gonna have to make sure that we got some good insurance. If this be true, because of fellatio, we just gonna have to make sure that we got some good insurance, fam, because it's some things that I'm just not willing to go without. Flat out. Is some things that I'm really, listen, I don't believe that to be true. You can't convince me of it. I need more evidence to substantiate it. But it's some things that I'm just not willing to go without. You just gonna have to make sure that you get some really good insurance. Everybody got an end date. And that's just life. Listen, this thing has been around. Fellatio have been around since before you and I was born. It's not going away. And I'm not gonna sit here and remove myself from the conversation. You on your own on that one. Monteus Jackson says, open your eyes, people. When Steve told y'all rich people didn't sleep, he got backlash. When he told y'all simp these 304s, nobody batted an eye. Facts. Ain't that crazy? Shout out to J Dubs is in the building, says your platform adds tremendous value, whether I agree or don't. Thank you so much. Thank you, J Dub, and thank you for the 50 ball. Listen, we don't always agree, and one of the reasons that I call you family is because family argue back and forth. However, the one thing that we gonna do is we gonna always add value. So thank you to adding value for me. Continue to contribute to the platform. J Dub, I appreciate you. You threw that 50 ball at me like I'm a stripper, like I'm in love with a strip. Shout out to J Dub. Chris J says her voice been like that since high school. I'm not even gonna say her no more. I'm gonna say Brittany's voice. Brittany Griner's voice has been like that since high school. Shout out to Chris J. Anton, that's a man. Cliff Williams said, damn, said Patrick Hill is in the building. 100, keep it 100. Don J with the 10 ball. Little Black Duck says in Austin Powers voice, she's a man, baby. Shout out to Ash is in the building. I know you was over there getting that bag, Ash. I know you was getting that bag. Lamb Sauce says, thought that was Juana Man. I never watched that movie. Do you know my parents would not let me watch Juana Man? Cliff Williams says, Brandon T. Griner. Oh, my Jesus. Look at Q. Anton, don't forget you. Q, remind me to refund you your super chat, Q. I'm not even going to read that out loud. Adonis1909 says, rise in throat cancer is from fillet. No, it's not. And I'm not going to keep letting you spread false information, Adonis. Shout out to Adonis. Aaron says she's going to be mad when a few G League players decide to go to the WNBA and start dunking on her and pushing her down like Shaq did Sean Bradley. Ash said, nope, I'm not even reading it. I'm going to refund Ash. Send me your Cash App. I got you, big dog. Y'all not about to make a You know what's so funny? I don't mind hitting y'all with the notes because I'm from church. We used to have church what do you call them? Programs. Like church plays and programs and stuff like that. I have no problem with it. Maybe I'll do it at the meetup. I don't know. I have to see. I have no problem hitting the notes. The problem is that we know that this is going to become a soundbite. And I'm unwilling to become a soundbite for the internet. Y'all not about to Jordan me. Let me Q, I'm about to Cash App you in a little bit. Don't worry about it. I hate Q. Adonis says it's from having multiple partners, apparently. Q says, Rita, get him some tea so he can sing for us. Why do Q want me to be a... Q is trying to embarrass me. Why is Q trying to embarrass me? Spencer Campbell says, think about it, Anton. The president didn't help Mrs. Robertson, but he did about 20 FBI agents to arrest the man who was defending his 9-year-old son against deletion activists. That's a good one. Now, let me read to y'all what Q is trying to do to me. Q is supposed to be on my team. And Q, oh my God, look at Ash. I'm refunding all super chats. After the show. So make sure y'all send me some Cash Apps. Make sure y'all send me y'all Cash App. I will refund y'all all y'all super chats after the show. Sans social media's feed that comes along with it. All right. Let's get into the show. Stop being distracted. I will continue to read super chats shortly. All right. We got to get into the thick of things. And the thickest thing for us to get into, Q. Hold on. Wait. Where's it at? Oh, wait. Where's it at? I don't see it. One, Brittany Griner, Disney. What is this? Is this it? Nope. That's not it. There it is. All right. Maybe I'll sing at the meetup if y'all don't have y'all cameras out. Maybe. We'll see. But y'all just sent me this and y'all said, Anton, we want y'all to react to this because Dr. Umar Johnson tried to smash this chick. Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to smash a chick. Now, I don't believe it. I don't believe it even a little bit. All right. As much as I like to react to Dr. Umar Johnson, Tasha K has been on fire lately with the gossip. And so y'all sent this to me to react. Oh my God. Q, what is going on?
Anton, you can't do that. I'm here to hold you accountable, Anton. Yesterday on the Millionaire Morning Show.
Hold on, let me mute this, y'all. Oh my God. Q, you know that Fatty and them be watching this show, right?
I don't care. I'm trying to make a soundbite. Forget Fatty and them. We don't care. It's either you gonna sing or you gonna have people say, "Oh, Anton's a liar."
They can listen.
I'll make a whole
Q.
video.
Q.
I'll make a whole video about you on my channel.
All right, I'm with that. You can make a video about me.
No, I'm Mr. Daniels. You said you was gonna sing for us. Give the people what they want. You can't.
Oh my God.
Stick to your word. Don't
Okay, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me think about it.
These should not be in a man's vocabulary. Don't be like these bald-headed hoes that be lying and flip-flopping. Stick to your word.
Oh my God. What is wrong with this picture?
All these people sending money to you.
Don't send me no more money. I keep telling them that, and I'm going to refund them.
Thank you for the $50. Shout out to you. He matched my 50.
Oh.
Okay, bye.
Jesus. These are the people that I have in my inner circle. Stephen Day, they trying to catch me lacking. These are the people that I have in my inner circle, trying to hold me accountable. Let's get into this whole Umar Johnson conversation, Q. Jesus.
Why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down? Seems like motherfuckers should be.
So give me a second real quick. Jasmine, can you hand me my smart water real quick? Thank you so much. How did you meet Dr. Umar Johnson, the Pan-Africanist?
So dating back to 2012 or so, and first of all, everything you're sharing is correct so far for those that don't know.
Okay.
And I only came out publicly just because I couldn't hear him clapping back at you or Miss Michi at all as a sister and having this information. I just couldn't do it. So this is no attack on him, but this is just my truth. And you could see it.
I hate it when women say, "I'm not gonna let her talk me into it, Brock. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, and I'm gonna just have to see. I got enough money to refund everybody. I got enough money to refund. I'm not about to let Q catch me slacking out here in these streets. Don't y'all hate it when women specifically listen? This woman is saying, "I'm not trying to slander his name. I'm just trying to tell my truth. I'm not trying to slander his name. I'm just trying to tell my truth."
Sent a lot of receipts to you all. So dating back to like 2012 or so, I had a friend. I'm not going to say her name, but I sent you her picture as well.
Yes.
We're all over Instagram together and things like that. And I had
Hey, Tasha K be trying to act like she really interested, or she really, really, she really is into what's going on.
never heard of polygamy or like having multiple wives. I'm Haitian American. We don't believe in that. We're Caribbean women. We don't believe in like having multiple wives or what have you.
I don't think Umar Johnson would ever stoop this low. I don't think that Umar Johnson would even stoop this low. I don't believe it even a little bit.
And she kept wanting me to meet him. And the way she posed it was that he is like this powerhouse. He's amazing. You know, he's intelligent. She knew my background in psychology and public relations. I had studied abroad in London, England. I had traveled, you know, to many different countries by the time I was like 16, 17, because my parents were traveling all the time and they educated us that way. And then I was on the radio at the time in a small town, and that's where I met this young lady. And because I had just relocated from Atlanta, so I lived in Atlanta for years, Tasha, and that's where my activism started, where I became more like Black Power, like Dr. King, like, you know, and she knew that about me. So she took the opportunity to tell me about Dr. Umar. And when she brought him up to me, it was more like education, empowerment, things like that. And she knew that's what I liked. Some people feed off of our weaknesses, right? Or what we're attracted to. And fast forward, when I met
Hey, look at the icon that's in the middle of Dr. Umar Johnson.
Him, automatically, he was trying to eye me down, trying to be very, you know, sexual or what have you, made a couple of sexual advances. I'm a, you know, very nice young lady, but I was like, wait a minute, this is a powerful doctor. You know, what's going
on? I don't believe this shit even a little bit. I don't believe it anyway. Let me pull up this chick's Instagram. I don't believe this even a little bit. Not at all. Not at all. Because I need to see what Dr. Umar Johnson, I think she's lying. I personally believe that she's lying. The Annie YAASHOW. You're not about to sit here and lie to me. I need to see what it is that we working with out here in these streets. Hold on. Not gonna lie to me out here. Oh, and she got booking information in there too? Nah, I'm not going for it. Nope, you're not gonna finesse me. Dr. Umar Johnson is eyeing this down? No. I'm not going for it. I'm not even remotely going for this. Come on, fam. Y'all just can't believe everything. I'm not going to listen, me and Dr. Umar Johnson disagree on a lot of things. We disagree on a lot of things, but one thing is for sure and two things is for certain. The force is strong with this one. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Dr. Umar Johnson was eyeing her down. I'm not going for it, big dog. Nope. With your 6 likes. Let's see. The Prince of Pan-Africanism is eyeing this down. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. You're not going to sit here and lie on the good Dr. Umar Johnson's name. I am not going for it, not even a little bit. I don't think that Dr. Umar Johnson would even put himself in this position. I'm not going for it. Now, I'm not saying that guys wouldn't smash. That's not what I'm saying, okay? And we're going to get back to the Tasha K thing. I'm not saying that guys wouldn't smash because guys will literally smash anything. That's not the argument that we're making here. The argument that we're making here is that he was eyeing her down, that he was going after her and all of this other type of stuff. Fam, no. Nope. I would have had to vet this a little bit more effectively if I was a reading super chat shortly. I just got to see the whole thing. I want the entire context, bro. y'all. Oh no, man. I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't have anything negative to say. I don't have one thing negative to say. I think that all people are beautiful in their own way. I just don't believe it. I think that the cap is strong. I just think that the cap is strong. I genuinely believe the cap is strong. I wouldn't even have had her on the show. Hey, Rita. I would personally like to reach out to this woman. Let me make a phone call. I just got to know it. I got to know. Nope. I don't believe that the Prince of Pan-Africanism is even remotely having this conversation.
Hello.
Hey, babe. Are you watching the show right now or are you busy?
I'm getting my hair cut right now.
I need you. I'm going to send you this lady's Instagram. I need you to reach out to her because I'm very curious. I got some questions for her.
Okay.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, let's get back into the show because I don't believe it. Listen, it's a lot of things that I'm trying to understand about Dr. Umar Johnson. I want to know when his school is going to get open. I want to know why he repeats things 3 times. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's a lot of things that I got questions for, but I ain't no way in the world you're going to sit here and tell me that this is true. I don't believe it. The cap here is strong, but let's continue.
Why the hell so many people?
Because she never said his name at the time. She gave up her husband, she gave up her house, she gave up everything to move away to like the Philly area, if that says anything. And she gave up everything to be like a third, fourth, fifth wife or whatever it was.
Q keep talking about you, Umar ain't fine. Regardless of how you feel about Dr. Umar Johnson got pulled. He got clout, he got pulled, he could have game. I think that Umar Johnson absolutely got game. I think he got game. It's no way you can get the amount of women to support and hit the Cash App based off of a school they've been trying to open for over a decade, and you can get women to still support you without having game. I think he got game. I think he got visibility. I think he got clout, all of that. And I don't believe it. I don't believe even a little bit that the Prince of Pan-Africanism would even entertain this. I don't believe it.
I was shook.
Okay.
See, this is man's name. I know it was something.
After Dr. Umar Johnson, the Pan-Africanist, told you that you were going to be his fuck buddy when he came into town, and he wanted to fuck you. What happened after that when you said no?
I mean, he was like, damn, like, you're not going to just listen to me, basically? I'm like, no. I said, I have a degree in psychology, too. You're not going to come up here and play with my mind and my emotions and think I'm going to drop my drawers for you. So then we stayed friends. We became, like, cool after that. Like, he respected that because he respects women that don't submit. It's almost like a fear factor with him. And studying psychology.
What type of nigga submit? What type of, let me say, not say nigga. What type of anti-bunny chaser, how about that, respect the woman that don't submit? What type of man rolls with a chick that's combative? Who wants to be around a woman that's combative? Stop it. Stop it. I might be ruining my chances for an interview with this chick, but it's okay. I'll take my chances.
Psychology, I realized I did the complete opposite of what so many women do. So, like, if you submit to him and if you bow down because he's a Leo, he has that, like, finesse about him, you know what I mean? Then he's going to push and push. But if you're like, what the hell? Who do you think you're talking to? He's going to be like, oh, shoot, let me back up a little bit. And that's what happened.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what happened after you go ahead. Sorry.
No. I saw him for a few times after that. For years, we were back and forth, seeing him at different events, but I would never give him, like, my address or nothing like that because I was like, this is no,
Okay. So how did we get to you becoming like his wife? So fast forward to that situation.
So 2021 rolls around and Haiti has been in trouble. So again, I had seen him for years.
So she didn't know this dude since 2012. He told her that she was going to be his bust down when he fly into town. She told him no. And he was like, "Oh, I like that." Fast forward 9 years later.
Seen that sister in years because she moved away to this polygamy camp or whatever, and we lost contact. And randomly she called me like to apologize. And I was like, whatever, that's another story. So it's 2021. Haiti is going through hell. My parents' country is like completely in disarray. And I have a team of people because I'm an activist. I'm actually, in several, communities fighting for not just Black Americans, but for Haitians and things like that, and immigrants. And I was contacted by somebody that was like, Anaya, hey, do you know Dr. Umar Johnson? Because you know everybody. I'm like, yeah. They're like, can we get Dr. Umar Johnson to speak on our behalf for the Haitian people? I was like, are you sure you want him to speak on our behalf? I know he's a Pan-Africanist. I know he does a lot for the people or what have you. But what's the correlation? Oh, because, he could maybe, take a stance against what's happening in Haiti and make it known. I was like, all right, bet. I call him up because he typically picks up for me anyway. I call him and I was like, yo, son, I got a request for you. May 18th is coming around the corner. Oh, it's so funny. Today's May 19th. Yesterday was Haitian Flag Day. I don't know if you know that, Tasha.
I didn't know, no.
Like Tasha K actually, I like Tasha K cares at all. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Stop it, bro.
1804 is a big thing. So on every May 18th around the world, we celebrate Haitian Flag Day. So let's say it was like the beginning of May. I hit up Umar I'm like, yo, my community wants to know if you have anything going on May 18th. If not, can you come to Brooklyn and do an event for us, and stand up and stand against, the problems that's happening in Haiti? And mind you, I hadn't seen him in a while. And then the pandemic was also a big thing. But he was like, I'll let you know, send me a flyer of what's going to happen. I sent him the flyer. And do you know, Umar, he literally approved the flyer and put it on his Instagram page where he has like over 100,000 followers or whatever. And
He
people
got
start
way
blowing
more
me
than
up.
that.
I didn't know he approved it.
Let's see how many followers Dr. Umar Johnson got. Dr. Umar Johnson is at 871,000 followers on Instagram. What is she talking about?
I didn't know he was coming. So that was like our last conversation was like the beginning of May. And then I'm in South Florida on May 9th. I'm getting married. I don't let it be known to anybody really. It was a very short, ceremony. It was like very close circuit and things like that. Plus, I still had mad love in my heart for him. I'm not going to hold you. So it was like weird because I'm like, dang, this guy's like possibly coming to this event. I got mad love still, but I'm married. So, you know how that goes. And so I didn't say nothing. So I got married or whatever in South Florida. People calling me up. He approved. So here comes May 18th, and he keeps his word. He comes through, everybody shook. Oh my God, and now you got Dr. Umar here, da 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 da. And Dr. Umar knew a lot about Haiti, and I didn't know that. And he was shook. He was like, "You're Haitian?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we didn't even know that. Like he knew stuff, and I was Haitian.
Girl, get to the fact. Get to the point.
And then we just started vibing from there. Again, just picked up, but it was nothing sexual or nothing. Because I'm like, yo, I'm married, but not only that, because I couldn't be with somebody that was traveling all over the world and had all these groupies, and it was just too much. And the women that came to the event even were like, all up in his face and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, whatever. So that was the 18th of May, and we proceeded to communicate. And your name came up, Tasha, because around the same time, I think is when this whole thing about him was coming out. And so I had to see for myself, what the hell was everybody talking about this?
The cap is real. I'm not going for it. I'm just not going for it. Like, I don't even want to. I'm not even going to entertain this. This is literally just released. Maybe the interview itself is old. Some people in the chat are saying that the interview is old. This was just released like recently. Like literally just released. Probably within the last 24 hours on Tasha K's channel. Let me see. Yeah, this just came out. Literally 19 hours ago. That's what it's saying. Maybe it is old, but this just came out 19 hours ago. I'm not going for it. I don't know why she would put this up there, but I'm not going for it. So this is stupid. This is dumb. I'm not even going to entertain it. It's all cap. I'm just not believing it. I'm out of it. Let me read the super chats. Aaron says, who did it better, Weeknd or Mario Winans? Mario Winans. Christopher J says, sing at the meetup. Q and Quentin can sing backup. No, because y'all going to have your cameras out. Coming to stage, Anton Daniels and the 2 Qs. Ash is in the building, says 80, keep the money. I will send it right back. Oh, Jesus. The Fatty Files. Nope. Brock says, Anton, do not let her talk you into it. I'm on top of it, Brock. Levite says, number singer. Sukuyami is in the building. Shout out to Sukuyami. Sukuyami says, good afternoon, big dog. Knew you could sing since you bust out the vocals singing that Erica Badu Bag Lady. Oh, my God. They're trying to smash that. Yikes, you got it, big bro. Facts. I don't believe her. Do you ever think it's a good investment to use student loans to pay for a nursing program if you don't currently have the money to pay cash? I also live with my parents. Yes, I think it's fine. I don't think that student loans are a bad thing. I think that you only should borrow what you need, still be willing to work. And I also believe that you only are supposed to use student loans for the things that you actually are going to get a good return for investment. So I think that student loans are fine if you're using them for the right reason, and if you're leveraging that in order to invest in yourself. So I don't see it as a problem with that. Dude with Locke says that's a low-hanging fruit. Did Dr. Johnson had the night had off night in the dark? Nah, I don't think that Dr. Umar Johnson even entertained it. Quentin says I'll give Aniana throat cancer. Ugh, Quentin, I don't know why you would do that. Such a thing. Shay Cal says she may have a nice cash app. Facts. I'm rocking with that. Shout out to C Don in the building. I appreciate you. Wayno the Great says, did you believe that girl, that big girl that accused Usher of giving her herpes? I don't believe anybody until people actually do the thing, like until they produce some real evidence. Why yo fat A lying though? Cliff Williams said about the chick. Quentin says, I rescind my previous super chat. Nope. And you giving a $3.04 super chat. I'm not going for it. That neck was probably fire. Y'all are wild, man. Y'all are wild. One Guapa Load says, I got beats, tap in. I bet. It better be fire, too. Chike Auto LLC says, bro, she is boring. Please continue counting the money. We stopped at... Y'all was watching me count the money? Stopped at 36. That's more important than her boring story. She look a mess. Shout out to Chike Auto LLC. Adonis 1909 says she looked like she just learned how to do makeup, looking like a trans. And for the so-called psychiatry major, she can't tell Tasha K played her. Facts. Ash says she talks too much. Please quiet. Polk says this interview is from July 2022. I could believe that. Let's go right over. Q. Executive Suite MLE says this girl is clout chasing. She fast talking in circles. She just trying to look like she had Dr. Umar in check. Q says, so the black men in the chat not going to hold Anton accountable? Shaking my head, trash culture. Q, my guys got my back. My guys love me. My guys love me, Q. My guys love me. Say Tasha K trying to get that Cardi B money together. Yeah, Chef Anton is in the building. Shout out to Jamal Fowler. Trying to get that Cardi B money together. No CMOs here. No CMOs here, Q. My guys love me, Q. Can't turn my guys against me. They adore me. Talking about that some bull, read my stuff. No, and you better stop doing that too. I'm about to call Q and kick her butt. Don't worry about it. Sorry, Q. Anton is our guy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. Men and Symbol is in the building. Yeah. Listen, we did pivot away from what it was that I originally thought that I was going to talk about today in order to cover some of the things. Thank you to Sue Ann Robinson for stopping through. Julian Rooks, know I got them bars, so he in the building. Shout out to Centennial G, says, come on, AD, you know I started this Carl Thomas-ish. We got to hear it. Do it for all the unborn kids and Keisha's tonsils before the throat cancer kick. No, I'm telling y'all right now that I'm not about to listen, I'm smart enough now to give y'all enough sound bites, but not any additional sound bites for y'all to be able to react to. So, listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for continuing to rock with me. But I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Bag Chasers, Patreon members, make sure you stop in tonight on the Patreon. We doing a webinar. It's going to be awesome. Carmen says, thank you for your insight, Mr. Daniels. I will be graduating from nursing school very soon. And, hey, can we get a congratulations for Carmen also for graduating from nursing school and doing the thing and then getting that bag? Tap in tonight, Patreon members. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. Webinar is probably gonna be about between 9 and 9:30, y'all. Eastern, 9 and 9:30 Eastern. Probably closer to 9:30 though. See y'all tonight.